Title: Travis Kelce screams with rage after Taylor Swift drops shocking revelation. It was a crisp December evening, and Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce had just wrapped up a star-studded charity event in New York City. Cameras flashed as the couple, affectionately dubbed Trailer, waved to their adoring fans while heading to their black SUV. Behind the scenes, tension brewed like a storm waiting to erupt. Inside their penthouse suite later that night, Taylor sat quietly at the marble kitchen counter, sipping herbal tea. Her usually radiant face was shadowed by unease. Travis, on the other hand, was in high spirits, still riding the adrenaline rush of the evening. "That went great, don't you think?" he said, tossing his blazer onto a chair. Taylor hesitated, her hands nervously cradling her mug. "Travis, we need to talk." The tone of her voice instantly wiped the grin off his face. "What's wrong, Tay?" She took a deep breath, her heart pounding. "I've been keeping something from you. And I can't hold it in any longer." Travis frowned, stepping closer. "What is it?" I signed a deal to star in a movie about our relationship," she confessed, her voice barely above a whisper. Travis blinked, stunned. "What do you mean? A movie about us? Without talking to me first?" Taylor nodded, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "It's a romantic drama. They're calling it End Zone Love. It's a huge opportunity, and I thought." "You thought?" Travis roared, his voice echoing through the apartment. He slammed his hand on the counter, making Taylor flinch. "You're putting our relationship on blast for the world to dissect? Without even asking me?" "Travis, calm down," she pleaded, standing up. "I didn't mean to hurt you. It's just, everyone already talks about us. This was my way of taking control of the narrative." "You mean your narrative?" Travis snapped. His normally calm demeanor had given way to raw anger, his face flushed. "Do you even care how this makes me look? My career, my teammates, how do you think this will affect me?" Taylor's voice quivered, but she held her ground. "You knew what you were getting into when we started dating. My life has always been public. I thought you understood that." Travis turned away, running his hands through his hair. "This isn't just about you, Taylor. It's about us. And you made this decision alone." For a moment, the room was silent except for the ticking of the clock on the wall. Then, Travis took a deep breath, his voice softer but no less intense. "Do you even love me, or am I just another story for you to tell?" Taylor's eyes widened, her composure finally breaking. "Of course I love you. I wouldn't have done this if I didn't think it would strengthen us. I thought you'd be proud." "Proud?" Travis let out a bitter laugh. "This isn't pride, Tay. This is betrayal." Before Taylor could respond, Travis grabbed his jacket and stormed out, slamming the door behind him. Taylor stood frozen, tears streaming down her face as the weight of her decision sank in. She thought she was protecting their love, but had she just shattered it instead? Outside, Travis paced the sidewalk, his breath visible in the cold night air. His mind raced with anger, confusion, and hurt. He loved Taylor, but was love enough to overcome this? Only time would tell if Taylor could survive the shocking revelation that had turned their fairy tale romance into a real-life drama. Title: Travis Kelce SCREAMS with rage after Tay drops shocking revelation. It was an evening like any other in the world of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, their whirlwind romance continuing to capture the attention of fans and tabloids alike. But no one could have predicted the explosive moment that would unfold on a quiet night in Taylor's private New York apartment. Taylor, sitting casually across from Travis on the plush, velvet sofa, looked as serene as ever. The candlelight flickered gently in the background, creating a warm, intimate ambience. Travis, wearing his signature oversized hoodie, leaned in, clearly anticipating their usual conversation, perhaps discussing the latest game, or maybe Taylor's upcoming tour plans. But Taylor had a different agenda. "Travis," she said, her voice soft but filled with an eerie intensity, "there's something I need to tell you. Something I've been holding back." Travis paused, his brow furrowing slightly. He had come to know Taylor as someone who was always transparent, but her serious tone caught him off guard. "What's up, babe?" he asked, though his mind was already racing through potential scenarios. Taking a deep breath, Taylor met his gaze. "I've been offered a major movie role. But the catch is, it's with my ex." Travis' eyes widened, his heart racing in his chest. His mind scrambled to make sense of what he was hearing. "What do you mean, with your ex? Are we talking about him?" He could barely spit the words out, the jealousy already starting to rise within him. Taylor nodded slowly, her eyes never leaving his. "Yeah. It's a huge opportunity, but there's one more thing," she continued, her voice barely above a whisper now. "The movie is about a couple who reconnect after years apart. And we'd have to do some pretty intense romantic scenes." The room felt like it was closing in on Travis. He could barely breathe, his mind spiraling as anger bubbled up inside him. "Wait, you're telling me you're considering this?" His voice cracked as he stood up, pacing rapidly across the room, his thoughts jumbled. Taylor's calmness only fueled the fire. "Travis, I'm not saying I'll take it. I just wanted you to know. But you need to understand, it's a career-defining moment. You should have told me about this before." Travis snapped, his face flushed with a mixture of disbelief and frustration. "How long have you been hiding this from me?" "I wasn't hiding it, I was just waiting for the right time," she tried to explain, though her words only seemed to make things worse. "Right time?" Travis shouted, his voice now echoing through the apartment. He was visibly shaking, his rage overpowering any rational thoughts. "How could you even think about working with him? After everything? You know how I feel about him." Taylor, usually the picture of composure, stood frozen for a moment. She had never seen Travis so angry, so raw with emotion. She wasn't sure whether to back down or stand firm, but she knew one thing for sure, this conversation had spiraled into something neither of them could have anticipated. "Travis, it's not about him," she tried to calm him down. "It's about me. It's about my career. This isn't about us." But Travis, consumed by a wave of jealousy and betrayal, let out a guttural scream. "You want to put me through this? You want to make me the fool? You want me to sit here and pretend like it's nothing? I can't do this, Tay. I can't." His words hung in the air like a thunderstorm, and in that moment, the reality of their relationship seemed to shift before her eyes. The man she loved, the man who had been her rock, was now a volcano on the edge of eruption. Taylor's heart sank, realizing the depth of the situation. She had tried to maintain control, to keep everything in balance, but the truth was undeniable, the weight of her past and the choices she now faced were more than Travis was willing to bear. "I need space," Travis finally said, his voice quieter now, but still filled with hurt. "I need to figure things out." With those words, he stormed out of the apartment, leaving Taylor standing in the dim light, her hands trembling at her sides. The apartment felt colder now, the silence echoing like the aftermath of a storm. She had no idea if she'd ever be able to fix what had just broken. And so, the once solid couple now stood on the precipice of an uncertain future, their love threatened by secrets, exes, and the harsh reality of fame. What would come next for Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce? Only time would tell. But one thing was for certain, their fairy tale was far from over. Title: Travis Kelce screams with rage after Tay drops shocking revelation. The bright lights of the Kansas City Chiefs locker room were nothing compared to the heat surging through Travis Kelce's body as he stormed through the hallway. His mind was racing, his emotions boiling over. He had just heard the most shocking revelation of his life, one that would change everything. It had been a whirlwind couple of months since he started dating Taylor Swift. The public was enamored with their love story, and fans couldn't get enough of the Kelce-Swift romance. Yet, behind the glitz and glamour of their high-profile relationship, there had always been a tension and unspoken distance that Travis couldn't shake. Taylor had been acting distant the last few weeks, her usual warm and bubbly personality replaced with moments of cold detachment. Travis tried to ignore it, chalking it up to the stress of her tour, the constant media attention, and the juggling act of their busy lives. But nothing could prepare him for what she was about to say. It all unfolded at a quiet dinner, far away from the prying eyes of paparazzi. Taylor had been quiet, her gaze fixed on her glass of wine. She suddenly looked up, her voice trembling ever so slightly. Travis, there's something I need to tell you. It's not easy, but you deserve the truth. Travis sat up straighter, a sense of unease creeping into his chest. He had no idea what was coming, but he knew something was off. She took a deep breath and continued. I'm not the person you think I am. I've been hiding something from you, something that goes way back. The words hit Travis like a freight train. His heart skipped a beat, but he forced himself to listen. Taylor continued, her eyes welling up with emotion. I've been seeing someone else. I have been for months. I didn't want to hurt you, Travis. I thought I could manage both relationships, but it's too much. I'm so sorry. The world seemed to stop for a moment. Travis's blood boiled. His mind couldn't process the betrayal, the confusion, the hurt. Taylor Swift, the woman he had trusted, admired, and loved, had been leading a double life. For the first time since they'd met, Travis Kelce felt his rage explode. He stood up, knocking his chair backward with such force that it almost tipped over. His voice was thunderous, shaking with anger. Are you serious? After everything, Taylor? Everything we've been through? How could you do this to me? Taylor's face turned pale as she backed away, the tears now freely streaming down her cheeks. But Travis couldn't contain himself. His usually calm and composed demeanor had shattered into pieces. You played me, Tay. You used me for whatever reasons, whatever benefits, and now you tell me this? Do you think I'm some kind of fool? Taylor reached out, her voice cracking. Travis, please. I never meant for this to happen. But Travis couldn't hear it anymore. He turned, storming toward the door, his fists clenched. His heart raced in his chest, but it wasn't from love or excitement. It was pure, unfiltered rage. He didn't look back. He couldn't. Not after this. As he left the room, the world outside seemed to close in on him. The bright lights, the cameras, the fame, it all seemed so hollow now. Taylor Swift, the woman who had captivated his heart, had shattered it with a single revelation. He had been played, and the pain was almost too much to bear. The headlines the next day were explosive. Travis Kelce screams with rage after Taylor Swift's shocking revelation. Fans and media alike speculated about what had really happened, but Travis couldn't care less. All he knew was that the love he thought he had was nothing but a lie. And now, he had to pick up the pieces of his broken heart.